The Heritage Library in Port of Spain will become the home of the memoirs of the father of the nation, this country's first Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams. The original building at Knox and Pembroke Streets is in phase 2 of restoration, and when completed, the library will join Woodford Square and the Red House as landmarks in Port of Spain that have a close connection to Dr. Williams. Wason has more.
South MP Keith Scotland has described this country's first Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, as a man who was beyond us. The first MP of Port of Spain South, Dr. Eric Williams, rose to prominence at which became known as the University of Woodford Square, just opposite to the Nallis Heritage Library. And this is where his memoirs will soon be housed, as explained by Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister in charge of communication, Simon de Nobrega.
It is the hope that at the end of this, what will happen is the Eric Williams Memorial Collection, which is currently being curated and housed at the Dr. Alma Jordan Library at UWI St. Augustine, will find its home here.
Current MP for Port of Spain South, Keith Scotland, explained why the Heritage Library will be so important to young people.
Before, when we were young, our hands, we used to play games, pitch marbles. Now the young people, that's how their hands go. We want to let them know that there's a history here that has brought us here. And you cannot rewrite history. Dr. Eric Eustace Williams is an important part in not just the history of Trinidad and Tobago, but the history of the Caribbean.
Mr. de Nobrega, along with his colleague Keith Scotland and the Nallis chairman Neil Parsonlal, were taken on a tour of the site by officials of UDCOT, the project manager. Wason, TTT News.
Chairman of the National Library and Information System Authority, Neil Parsonlal, says Nallis has been transformed in the electronic age and does not only cater for people to read printed books. Speaking at the Beetham Community Library in Laventille, Mr. Parsonlal explained how people can access the library from anywhere.
Possession of a library card from Nallis allows each person, just by this barcode, to access any of Nallis's resources. So once you're a member of the library, as now MP Scotland is, he can in fact access any of our resources. Yes. So you can go online. There are lots of e-resources that we have. We have the search engines for persons involved in research. So they will be familiar with things like EBSCOhost. So they can access those search engines.
Children and adults alike are benefiting from the community library in Beetham Gardens. The library is part of the co-location library program, where the libraries and community centers are merging to create a new experience. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for communications, Simon de Nobrega, visited the library on Tuesday, along with parliamentary colleague Keith Scotland, who did not leave with his hands empty and promised a gift to the library as well. Wason has more.
Minister with responsibility for communications, Simon de Nobrega, is happy with the work being done by the Nallis staff and the police in Beetham. The library and the community centre, along with members of the interagency task force, are all in one location, so users of the facilities need not worry about their safety.
You have one space where, again, lifelong learning is facilitated. So not just through the activities of the library, but also the activities of the community center, so that it's non-traditional learning. It is grounding in your community. It is social interaction. So you have one space where these things occur.
The users of the library will be guided by librarian Miss Bernard, who explains that children can use the facility to do online schoolwork, as some may not have devices to help meet their demands during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, they can. The only unfortunate thing is that due to the pandemic, it's sort of limited. However, we are open to being a part of our community, and they are free to come and ask for what it is that they especially need. And we are the type of staff members that are willing to explore the options and the expressions, the desires that they have, and we offer it to them.
Port of Spain South MP Keith Scotland was beaming with joy as he got his library card during the visit. He was also happy to see a PS4 in the library, but he observed something was missing.
We noticed that the PS4 does not have a FIFA 2020. We hope by the close of play today, when at the second half, that will be rectified.
With that, the TTT News team challenged the MP to a game.
We'll go outside in the yard.
Ian Wason, TTT News.